Great day, everyone. Great day. It is the 6th of April, 2026. I'm Matthew Levi, and this is the Oracle. And it is going to be another great day. It's starting to be a beautiful day here in Northeast Oklahoma. Again, I feel like I'm running a little behind time, but right on time, divine time. That's just the way it goes. But anyway, it's going to be a great day. It's been a peaceful morning for me. Hopefully it has been for you too. Hopefully you all had a great weekend. I know I certainly did. I'll talk about it here in just a second. Let's load this smudge pot up though real quick. Move this smudge pot. And bless off real quick. Just some of that cedar on there. Get that good cedar on there. I pray and I call to the four directions, the powers of the water, the air, the earth, and the fire. To the great spirit of all that is, God the Father, God the Mother, I pray and I call. I ask you and all the children in the unseen realms and those in the seen to come and join this circle, this co-creation. Pray and ask that you send these smoke from these sacred earths through space and time. Surround all of those that are watching and will watch. Surround them and encompass them with your light. Bring them peace, clarity, calm. Sever, removing in all cords of fear, doubt, insecurity, anxiety, and lack. Fill them with your spirit. I thank you once again for blessing me, Matthew Levi, this opportunity to be of service to the highest good, to the greatest good of the collective and all that is. To bring messages of love, peace, unity, sovereignty. Thank you. I am the way, I am the truth, I am the light of the world, I am Matthew Levi, I am the Oracle. All right, so Daniela, good morning. Thank you for tuning in, and whoever else is watching. I can see two up there. Thank you all. Thank you for being here. Bless you all. And do me a favor, reach down in the corner, spank the share button. Let's bring some more people in. All right, so how was your weekend? Mine was good. Mine was great, actually. Saturday morning, I received a message from a friend of mine, Keelan Bearpaw, and was invited to come sit in the sweat lodge again. And I did, so it was a great day. It was a great day. Lots of power, lots of prayer coming out of that lodge. It was great to sit in community with people, like-minded people that want to create a better way of life for everyone, not just themselves, that want to share their wisdom, their ceremonies, their prayers, and their space, as well as their heart, open their heart to me, and I am super grateful for it and thankful for it. And then yesterday was a nice, relaxing day. Tasha and I spent the day together, did a little yard work, and really just enjoyed our time together. And today, it's back Monday again, so here I am to be of service once again to you and to the collective and to the Creator. And do the work of maintaining balance internally, being mindful of my projection and how I create and how I view the world and how I experience life in the world, and share that with you. It's been quiet this morning around here and in here, as it usually is on these days. It can be challenging at times, but it's also quite peaceful quite peaceful when you don't have a bunch of wild thoughts and stuff running through your head, and you have alchemized your pain, your trauma. Oh yeah, she's always snoring, man. She's right over here. Look at her over here in the chair. When you've worked through that stuff, and you learn to maintain balance, and you learn how to, like I said, own your projection, and basically walk the way, walk in harmony with all that is, and learn to balance the dark and the light. When you sit in ceremony and essentially purify yourself, because that's what that sweat lodge is. It's a purification ceremony. And return to hollow bones. And what that means is just being empty of all of that crap, all of the stuff that used to haunt you. You've made peace with it, you've alchemized it, you've learned from it, and you've released it, and you come into the present moment. You're no longer resentful or bitter or hurt, or suffering from your past, the illusions, the shadows, and you're walking more on the lighter side of life, the beauty way, as I call it, and being present and understanding that everything happens right here and now. Everything happens right here and now, and you each and every one of us have a choice in how we see the world and where we direct our focus and our energy. Now, I understand that at times it can be extremely challenging with all the goings on in the world, yet that challenge that's presented to all of us, in order for us to overcome those challenges, we have to look within ourselves and find the gifts that Creator has given us to overcome these challenges. For me, it is a big heart, one that I wear on my sleeve and out openly. It is also my specific design, the awareness that I have, the openness that I have, the intuitive abilities, the deeply emotional receptivity. And so today, I think I just want to maybe talk a little bit, maybe answer some questions if you guys have any questions. And just listen to the puppy snore. Anyway, not really feeling the cards too much today. Not really feeling the cards too much today. Although I sort of hear one of these decks over here calling to me. So I'll go ahead and reach and take it in hand. Maybe shuffle up. Got the Nature Spirits deck here. And it being springtime here in Oklahoma, I know most of the Western world, a big part of the world, celebrated Easter yesterday, Resurrection Day. Well, Ostara actually happened a couple weeks ago. So, anyway, Daniela says, yeah, I'm starting to learn to let go of the resentment. It's not anybody else's fault, and that you chose to let people make you feel a certain way, and that is your fault. Yeah, that's true. And I'm happy to hear that. Danielle. I'm happy to hear that. And I know from my own personal experience the challenge in that, and wrapping your head around that concept that it is all you, that it is your choice, and that's exactly what free will is. It is your choice. We get to choose what we see, what we believe, what we feel, what we want to say, how we create, whether or not we want to let other people's opinions and beliefs about us and who we are affect us. All those not selves out there. The not self can be very loud at times. The not self, also known as the ego or the shadow, the programming that we are always being conditioned by in one way or another. And it's up to us as individuals to choose better. Choose better. As she also says, it's not their fault that I was seeking their approval. I shouldn't need their approval. I didn't realize I was doing that, but I was. Yeah, that's something that I've wrestled with and that I've done. And it's a challenge that's ongoing. I don't need anybody's approval of me for what I do. I know as long as I put out good energy and do good things, make good choices that benefit the whole, the collective, that do not add to separation or opposition or are destructive, and I maintain my integrity, my openness, my transparency. I allow myself to be a little bit vulnerable and more so open to receive the same that I give out, then it becomes a lot more enjoyable, a whole lot more enjoyable. But I have the Nature Spirits deck here, so I do want to go ahead and pull a card. So I ask, what do we need to know today to help us become more in tune, more harmonious, more in balance, to be in harmony with the great way, the great mystery? This one. We get the river card today. The flow. Learning to go with the flow. The 32, bringing balance into our heart space. When we learn to flow through life, we stop swimming against the current. We stop paying attention to everybody else and what everybody else is doing. When we relax and settle into our heart space, we bring balance into our heart space, meaning we're not holding on to yesterday. We're not trying to grasp at the future. We're not essentially being resistant to life. It becomes a little bit easier. When you stop resisting the flow of life, you stop insisting that things be your way or be a certain way. You allow yourself and you open yourself up to the natural rhythm, the natural flow of life. And right now there is a lot happening around the world. A lot. And it's going to get quicker. This week, the transits that are happening this week astrologically are powerful. We have Mars moving into Aries, back into its home sign on the 9th. And there is a huge, what we call a stellium, which is a grouping of planets happening in Aries right now. And all of that energy in Aries, which is the starting point. It is the self. It is the initial action. It is all about action and taking action and moving in a forward direction. And as the river always flows back to the ocean, it goes one way, back to the ocean. And think of the ocean as spirit, as source, and you being a little tiny droplet in that river that's on its way back. That you are also part of it, because it's all the same. It's all one, just like we are. But when you learn to release the resistance and the insistence and the expectations and the assumptions, you will bring balance into your heart space, and you will flow through life a lot easier. When you learn to be in your heart, to listen with your heart, to lead with your heart, and allow life to unfold for you without trying to control or manipulate it, man, life just gets so much easier. The flow of life, you sort of do. You just sort of flow through life, you know, as the river winds and bends its way around obstacles and across the country and terrain, as it makes its way back to the ocean. It just becomes a little easier. Also, when you got your head above the water and you're flowing and you're just relaxed, you can see those obstacles, like that giant rock there in the way. You can see those obstacles coming, and it's easier to just, you know, make a little adjustment here or a little adjustment there and move around these obstacles, you know. Or maybe you need to grab a hold of the rock and take a rest for a minute, and that's okay. That's okay. It's all right to just sit and observe. And I don't think people really understand how much power there is in just sitting and observing from a place of neutrality and objectivity instead of subjectivity. I was thinking, had some thoughts come through before I came on here about some things that happened last week, and again, it's just like, no, just let it go. It doesn't matter. It is what it is. It's out there. Just move on. Be here today. Be present today. But it was about finding the balance, finding that middle point, being an observer, and how much I work to maintain that center point, that place of sort of neutrality, but I keep one foot anchored firmly into the light, and into the truly loving nature of creation and source and the cosmos, the universe, great spirit, the great mystery, the Tao, God, whatever you want to call it. Because it's all God, even the dark, even the shadow, even the fear-based stuff, even that stuff that makes you feel separate from, other than. But we're all one, man. We are all one. It's literally that simple. When you stop looking at other people as separate from you, and you start seeing them as you, and everything around you as you, it becomes a little easier to be anchored in that light, to keep that foot rooted and firmly planted in the light, and flow through life a little bit easier. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand the challenge, because I haven't always been like this. It's taken me a great deal of practice to get this way. And I'm not saying that there's not events that haven't come along or may come along in the future, that want to slap those scales, so to speak, and get them going all wonky and out of balance. Because they do. They do. But whenever that happens, I think for me, it's important to not hold on to it, to understand what it was that happened, what it was trying to teach me, the lesson, where I may have been holding some resistance or some insistence or some expectation, and to let that go. As Daniela says, honestly, you've been brainwashed and conditioned, and it's later in life than I would have liked, but I'm starting to get that. I'm starting to get the right thought process. And that's exactly what it is. It is literally rewiring your brain. Every time you don't react out of anger, you rewire. Every time you don't react from that place of fear or from that wound, you rewire, you reprogram. Our individual realities, I've said it 1,000 times, but our individual realities are subjective. There are objective truths, and then there is a whole lot of subjective truth. And the subjective truths are our individual lives. Those are the subjective truths. The objective truths are some of the universal laws, the Hermetic laws, some of the things that, like all time is now, the mind is the all, or the one is the all is the one. What you put out is what you get back. Polarity, gender, meaning there's a masculine energy and a feminine energy. It has nothing to do with sexuality. It is just a different frequency of energy, and they are to work in consort and in harmony with each other. And I think, actually I don't think, I know, that's what's happening right now around the world. Is there is a cosmic and karmic rebalancing going on all across this plane of existence. There are, man, yeah, I know. I don't know if you guys can see me shaking over here, but the energy's really coming in right now. There is a cosmic rebalancing, a cosmic shift. If you haven't been paying attention, or you're not seeing it, I implore you to withdraw your energy back into yourself and withdraw from all those media sources, from even me, to sit with yourself and ask above. Ask your intuition, ask your higher awareness, and listen with your heart. Listen with your heart. See with your third eye. And ask to see from a place of neutrality and a place of objectivity to help you come back into balance. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Everything in the unseen and everything here in the seen realms is working for us, not against us. It's all for us, and it's all, again, because of us. But the angels tell me all the time, it is in you, it's yours for the asking, but it's in the way you ask. It's in the way you ask. You have to ask from a place in the heart, from a place of deep, deep gratitude and knowing that it's already done. That it's done. That is what faith is. People have to learn to trust again. There is so much distrust and discord that has been sown into this plane of existence, and not just here in the States, but all over the world, where there is just no trust. People have difficulty trusting. I don't. Not anymore. I trust, and I know that everything that comes into my awareness into my life is meant to teach me something, and is me at the higher level bringing it in and creating it. And so when you learn to have faith and you learn to trust, more importantly in yourself and in your intuition, it will become a little easier to start trusting in the unseen and the seen realms in other people. And so today, we're being asked to learn to flow like the river, to learn to flow, to not resist the changes that are happening, to allow life to unfold for us, to allow the process of this rebalancing, this shift, this transition into what a lot of people are calling the new earth, but it's actually a return to an ancient way, is what it is. It's a return to an ancient way, which is why the ceremonies like the Sweat Lodge are very powerful and very important. If any of you have indigenous friends or friends from other cultures, I implore you to reach out to them. Ask them about their culture. Ask them about their ways. Ask them about their ceremonies. And again, do it from a place of objectivity and neutrality where you can learn. It's about releasing all preconceived notions and conditioned and programmed ideas and beliefs about how life is, and discover it for yourself. Learn these practices, learn these ways. Holy cow. Man. Man, oh man. Got the shivers, chills. This much, bring that wisdom back in. So find that karmic balance. Find that place for you where you're able to flow. You're down to flow, Daniela says. You'll get on your back and just chill. Yeah, that's exactly it. You know, I've pulled this card before, and I've talked about it a little bit before. When I was on the job in the fire service, we had swift water rescue training. This is because I worked in Jinx, and we had the river. And so it was important to learn water rescue. And one of the things that we were taught was how to flow in the river, and how to move with the current, and how to use the current to assist you in navigating, and how to ferry across the current. But the main thing about when you're going downstream, especially in a swift water, is that you're on your back, you got your head above water, your feet are just sort of out in front of you, below the surface. That way you can feel those obstacles and be able to push off and navigate. Not only that, but your head is up, and you can see obstacles like the rock or snags or whatever, and you can navigate around them. And so understanding that goes to sort of what she was saying there about, you know, just on your back, just sort of floating through life. And it becomes a little easier. Not just a little bit easier, it actually becomes a whole lot easier. It becomes a whole lot easier. When you learn to flow with life, you learn to let go of your expectations and your insistences on other people, and one that other people hear what you say, or believe what you say, or perceive you in a certain way, or receive you in a certain way. Because that's all the subjective truths. that are out there. People are going to see you and hear you, how they hear you based on their conditioning, their programming, their subjectivity. But what's important is that you know, you have integrity. You come from a place of love. You're being transparent. You're being open. You are giving instead of taking. When you share openly with people, when you really come into community with people, there's great power there. And it's not about creating an echo chamber for yourself. It's about allowing whoever or whatever that is for you to come to you. But it's understanding how you're creating it. Again, as within, so without. What you put out is what you get back. So if you're constantly focused on war and politics and death and chaos and destruction, guess what? You're going to get more of that. But if you're focused on living a peaceful, simple, harmonious life where you're giving to your community, where you're putting out good action, where you're creating unity and spaces to love and to share, then you're going to get more of that. Now, when I scroll these platforms, I see who's doing what, who's putting out what action, where their focus is at. I see people that are wholly invested in the geopolitics and politics here in the States. And I see people that want nothing to do with it. And it's not apathy. It's not spiritual bypassing. For some it may be. For me it's not. I recognize it and I completely reject it. I'm not going to feed into it. I'm not going to focus my energy on it. Chances are, if you're in my feed, or you have been in my feed or in my group list, and you're putting that stuff across there, I just scroll on by. I just scroll on by. I'm not going to feed into it, because that's all that does, is create more of it. It's about recognizing it and rejecting it. And choosing, consciously choosing to do something different, to create something different, to go the other way. It's literally that simple. What you focus and direct your focus and energy at is going to grow in your life. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. You're going to have more of it. So if you're focusing on separation, being other than, you're going to get more of that. But if you're focused on creating love and unity, you're going to get a whole lot more of that too. It's literally this simple. Thank you, Daniela, for the stars. Thank you. I appreciate that. Every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. So, if anybody has any questions or comments, or would like me to pull a message from these cards, drop a comment, let me know. Are you guys ready for them? Are you guys ready for them? Do you guys believe in them? Have you guys had any experiences with them? I have. I've talked about them on here. I've actually let them come through and talk before. Not so much the grays, that's just a symbol for extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional, interdimensional life, which is real. Jennifer says she would like a card. Jennifer says she would like a card. So, nature spirits, walks in darkness, all those in the unseen realms. What does Jennifer need to know today to help her flow through life? Jennifer gets the moon card. Cycles. The 23. This is about leading with your heart to create balance. It's also about recognizing the cyclical nature of life. Right now, we're entering into a new cycle. We are closing out an old one and entering into a new one. It may be messy for a while. It may be messy for a little bit until everybody starts rejecting that shit and starts coming together and returning to these old ways. Returning to this ancient knowledge, this ancient wisdom. It's literally that simple. But right now, the cycles are turning. The wheels are turning. Jennifer, you're going through closing out one cycle and beginning a new. We just had a full moon in Libra last week, last Tuesday, I believe. And that was a very powerful and potent gate that we went through that closed out and initiated a new cycle. Again, back at the beginning of this, I said we have a lot going on this week transit-wise. If you guys haven't been feeling the shift in energy or paying attention, then I don't know what's going on in your life. And honestly, it's not really in my business. But right now, Jennifer, the moon. Also, you need to go reach out to the moon. Tap into the moon. There's wisdom there. And Grandmother Moon, if you ask her, will allow you to look into her mirror and reflect and see what it is that you need to see to either end the old cycle and begin the new, or continue into this new cycle in a new way. So, cycles, Jennifer. It's about sitting in your heart space to bring balance. The 23, opening your heart. It's about transparency. It's about being a mirror and understanding that everybody out there is a mirror of you and is a mirror for you. So, cycles, Jennifer. Hannah felt that one so much. Yep, that moon. Stephanie says, yes, it's very real. Have also connected with them, have received visions and messages, felt and looked like geometry at a very high level. Well, that's because it is. It's all math. Math and geometry. There's a reason it's called sacred geometry. It is what math is, the language of the universe. Mathematics. Stephanie, go look into the work of Robert Edward Grant. Polymath. Look into the work of Robert Edward Grant. I recommend anybody go look at his work. You're going to hear him say a lot of the same things I say. But about the math, that's where you'll learn more about the math and the sacred geometry. That's one source, one resource that you can look into. So, anybody else like a message from the Nature Spirits deck today? Drop a comment. Say card or yes or whatever. It doesn't mean that, Hannah. You're not going to flunk. Change the way you're saying there. Change the way you're speaking there. No, you don't have to know. You don't have to know geometry. You don't have to understand the complex mathematics behind creation. What you need to understand is how to live in here and how to create from here. You get this in balance and this in balance, and your third brain, your gut in balance. You bring all that stuff in line. Things open up. Things open up. Hannah, like a card. Nature Spirits, what does Hannah need to know today? What does Hannah need to know today? Hannah, the desert card, the thirst card, going through a dry spell, thirsting for life. Been walking in that desert for a while and it's time to come out, and the way you're going to get out is to listen to your intuition. The 1 card is the crown, 0 is a space holder, a beginning and an ending. This is signifying the end of a cycle for you. If you choose to listen to your intuition, you will get out of that dry spot, that dry spell. You will quit thirsting for life. It's also thirst. Go drink some damn water. Water is life. Water is life. It literally holds the codes to life. Literally. It is also programmable. Water is programmable. What you say to the water, it will match. So this is about speaking more kindly about yourself, because you are made up of almost 90-some% water. We are basically houseplants. We're basically plants that can walk and talk. Go look into the work of Dr. Matsuya Emoto or Veda Austin about speaking to the water and programming the water. So reprogram you. Reprogram your reality. Listen to your intuition, and you will lead yourself right out of the desert, and your thirst will be quenched. Promise. Promise. Change the way you speak. Change the way you think. Change the way you love, or your definition of love, meaning not emotional. It's not an emotion. Love invokes emotion. It is not the emotion. So, Daniela, what does Daniela need to know? What does Daniela need to know? Daniela, this is confirmation for you. Confirmation for you. The lightning card, the breakthrough. You've had that lightning bolt to the third eye that was likely thrown by me, that's caused you to have a breakthrough. You will continue to go as long as you lead with your heart and listen to your intuition. The breakthrough. This is also, where do you get those breakthroughs? When you're sitting in silence, when you're sitting by yourself in that place of objectivity, in that place of neutrality, being open to receive, releasing thoughts, not chasing thoughts. You'll get the breakthroughs. You'll get the insights, the flashes, those little moments that say, oh, I need to go do this. Or, oh, that's why that happened. Oh, okay, that's what that was trying to teach me. Oh, okay. All right, now I could start moving in a different direction. I can alchemize that. All right, I can understand that now. So breakthrough. This is a bit of confirmation for you, Daniela. You've had some breakthroughs, and they'll continue to come. They'll continue to come. But, you know, the lightning comes with the storm. The lightning comes with the storms. So learn to sit in that storm. Learn to be the calm center in that storm. So, but the breakthroughs happening all the time. Again, this is a very powerful transition time that we were in, and a lot of people are having these breakthroughs right now, these insights. They may not understand why or where it's coming from, but it is all part of this transition from that old way of separation and fear and control and manipulation, and into one where we understand that we're not separate, that we're deeply and intrinsically tied to this earth and everything on it, as well as all that stuff in the unseen. All that stuff in the unseen, man. You guys, I don't think people really understand or really comprehend what is working for us in that unseen realm, and what's working against us. Because again, as above, so below, the same stuff that happens here happens out there too. It's just on a bigger scale, and it's more balanced. It's less chaotic. It's more in harmony. It really is sort of like the yin yang of the Tao. You know, the two sides that are just mirrored and balanced and constantly whirling and swirling. So you're welcome. Anybody else, whoever is with me, drop a comment if you'd like a message. Be happy to pull it. But today is I can feel the energy is a bit strange today. It's felt kind of weird the last several weeks, and I haven't been having too much trouble maintaining my sense, because I've done a lot of work. It is literally practice. It becomes habit. Then it just becomes the way that you are. So it takes practice. That's why a lot of these teachings are called practices. The practice of non-judgment. The practice of fearlessness, the practice of owning your projection, the practice of transparency, the practice of being a beginner. You got to do it constantly. People think enlightenment and awareness, or the Great Awakening, is this big thing, but all it is now you're awake and you're aware to how it works. So you have to be mindful. The practice of mindfulness. You have to be mindful of the stuff that's going on in your world. You have to be mindful of how you're feeling. You have to be mindful of what you're thinking, of what you're saying. It's the practice of living consequently. When you're consequent with your actions and you understand that every thought and every action has a consequence, you become more mindful. You choose better. You choose the higher path and not the low road. We're coming up, like I said, Mars enters Aries on the 9th. Creates another big stellium in there with Neptune and Saturn and the Sun, Chiron. Go do your research about what these energies, these archetypes do, what they mean, how they work for us, and how they can work against us. When you understand, when you're mindful, and you consciously choose the hard path. Look, nobody said walking the middle way is easy. Nobody said walking the way of virtue is easy. It can be quite challenging at times. But the more you do it, the more mindful you do it, the easier it does become, because you can see those obstacles coming. When you learn to flow through life, head up, just flowing, you can see it coming. When you raise your awareness You can see farther. You recognize that stuff. You recognize instantly the energy of somebody who's carrying the funk, who wants to detract, who wants to persecute, prosecute. So, for Jackson, Jack, butterfly, the regeneration card, the 3. If you want to fly like a butterfly, Jack, you got to go through the gooey stage, which means you got to separate yourself and go into the cocoon. You've got to isolate. You've got to let go of that old way. I pulled this Friday, I believe. The regeneration card. If you want to have a balanced, harmonious life, you have to let go of the old shit. You cannot be a butterfly living a caterpillar life. So all the bullshit that you continue to do, that you continue to choose to do, you can no longer do. You're going to wind up alone because people are going to move away from you. But you have a choice. You can let go of that stuff that you know does no good for you, does no good for anybody else. And you can choose to fly, to flitter around through life. You guys ever watch a butterfly and it looks like they're just flittering around, floating, like they don't have much control, but they have extreme amount of control. You don't get to the butterfly stage without going through the gooey, nasty caterpillar pupal stage in the cocoon, where you do the hard fucking work in isolation of alchemizing your pain, of transmuting all of that stuff, of letting go of those identities, those labels, those beliefs that you know are not you. So if you want to live a balanced life, you have to let go of the old shit. The stuff that you continue to do that causes you to self-implode and self-destruct and continue to stay stuck and mired down in your pain and your suffering and the continued creation of suffering, not only for yourself, but for others. So Jack, separate yourself. Go into isolation for a while. Sit with yourself. Sit with your thoughts. Ask your higher awareness. Ask in here. And listen from in here. And see from in here. It'll tell you. And it's going to tell you to do some hard shit. Meaning you got to walk away from some people. People you think are your friends. It's that simple, that cut and dried. You know. You know. The other part is you got to be fucking patient. That's the thing here, folks. Patience is a hard-earned virtue. Hard-earned. Learning to trust in life, learning to flow in life requires a lot of patience. Hard-earned virtue. Patience is the counter to wrath. Right there. Angry. Wanting to blow up the world. Set the world on fire. I get it. I've been there. It takes an extreme amount of patience. So, anybody else? Anybody else? Who else is with me here? Who else is with me? Oh, I know who's with me. But all of this stuff, man, it takes work. It takes work, especially in the beginning. Especially in the beginning. But once you come out the other side, life begins to flow. Life gets easier. We're coming up to, again, another powerful gate. One where we have to make another choice. We choose the gate of fear or the gate of love. The gate of separation or the gate of unity. Both require you to go through that gate of fear. Because when you go through the gate of love and unity, you have to pass through some of that fear. You have to trust. You have to be transparent. You have to be vulnerable. You have to allow people in that want to help. It's about allowance, flow. Again, the river card. You're welcome, Hannah, and thank you for the stars as well. Thank you. Put some of that sweetgrass on here this time. Some sweetgrass. Bring some sweetness and some joy into our life. Reach in there. Pull some of that smudge across you. Bless off. Get some of that sweetgrass. Bring some peace, some joy into your life. You got to allow it to come. If you continue to think that everybody is out to get you, guess what? People are going to show up to get you. But if you think and you believe that people are wanting to help you, guess what? Those people are going to show up too. It's about trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in spirit. Trust in those unseen forces that are always constantly working on your behalf. Bear down here, yeah, he snores really, really loud. Really, really loud. Oh, Big Bear. Big Bear snores loud. Big Bear snores loud. So, if anybody has any questions or comments, please drop them. Questions need clarification. Like a different card. I hear the angels calling over here. Look at me here. I got the deck in my hand. 2 different decks in my hands when I said a while ago I wasn't really feeling the cards, but I guess maybe I was wrong. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I just wasn't really wanting to pull cards or something. I don't know. I'd like to direct channel more, but it is what it is. It is what it is. The cards just flip the switch and allow the channel to open. I understand that. So, a message from the archangels today. Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, Zykel, Raziel, Camiel, Ariel, Raphael, Haniel, Natural, Soundform. What do you have for us today? What do we need to know today? There. 33. This is a blessing in disguise. Yeah, it is. It really is. It really is. Basically reiterating the message I've already said. Be patient, have faith that your angels have this situation under control. What will come is far better than you dared to dream. What have I been saying for about an hour now? Flow. Understand that all those challenges, those people that walk away from us, have been removed as a place of protection, to protect you, because they no longer serve you. It is a blessing in disguise. People look around and see the destruction and the chaos, the world transiting, the geopolitics, the bullshit, the control system coming down, and they're losing their shit. It's a fucking blessing, people. it is a blessing in disguise. It is a rebalancing. Again, we get the double 3 here. It's just balancing the heart space. Balance through the heart. Everything is working in your favor. You just have to allow it to happen. Stop being so insistent that you have to physically try to control and manipulate your life, because you don't. While this is a physical plane of existence and it requires us to take action, physically move, it is 100% created in the mental plane and powered by the emotional. So what you think, what you emote is what you project out, and that's where you have to take action physically to maneuver around it. But everything that is going on right now is a literal blessing in disguise. It looks like the end, but it's just the beginning. Just the beginning. As I said again, powerful, powerful transits happening right now. If you pay attention to human design and what happens there, we're into the gate of control right now. The 51, the gate of control. What does that sound like to you? It's teaching you to let go of control. Learn to flow, just like every single one of these cards has been pulled today and the messages come through. Learn to let go of some of that control, that insistence, that resistance, because you are 100% in control. But learn to flow. Learn that it's a lot easier to control with your mind and with your emotions than it is to insist and physically try to control and manipulate people, objects, your life. It's pretty simple. Pretty simple. So, anyway. I'm going to load the smudge one more time, final time here, unless anybody else has any questions or comments or needs some clarification on anything. I want to add a little tobacco on here, give this to the ancestors and thank them. Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, ancestors, ancient ones, future generations, star nations, angels, archangels, my spirit guides, the nature spirits, the great spirit, God the Mother, God the Father, I thank you. I thank you for this day. I thank you for these blessings. I thank you for these messages. Thank you for the wisdom, the clarity, the courage, the strength, the awareness, this co-creation in this beautiful day. So, I pray that you all take these messages and contemplate on them, sit with them, understand them, and use them to your advantage, because they are a gift. Life is a gift. Every single day that you wake up in your body, be thankful, be gracious, because there are so many souls outside of this plane in the unseen realms that are dying to get in here, that would love to come in here and help. Greatest show in the cosmos happening right here, right now on planet Earth, as humanity and the planet itself raises its consciousness. Powerful, powerful time. Learn to flow with it. Don't be so resistant. Don't be so insistent. Let go of your fear. Fear is a killer. Just by holding that frequency. It's said that the person who fears death has death's hand already gripping hold of him. So, do me a favor, do all the things, do all the things, stars, like, follow, share, subscribe, set notifications, all of that stuff. Click the links in the corner, check out my other stuff, Between Two Projectors, my YouTube channel. Again, all these are going up on the YouTube channel because Facebook takes them down after 30 days, so you'll be able to go back and watch over there. Follow me over there, subscribe, set notifications over there as well. Same with Between Two Projectors on Spotify. Check out my webpage if you want to schedule some time with me. Reach out, email, reach out direct. All the stuff. But I thank you all for being here. Thank you for joining me this morning. I will be back Friday morning, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, right back here on this same channel. Till then, I pray that your week goes well and that you learn to flow like a river. Learn to flow. Just meander through life. Allow the current to take you where it's supposed to take you. Let go of your insistence and your resistance and your need to control, because you have absolute control. Anyway, I love you all. I thank you all for being here. Till Friday morning, 8 a.m. Central Standard Time, I'm Matthew Levi, and this is The Oracle. Be